You are listening to The Off Switch. How to run your business so it doesn't run you. Written by Sarah Greener and narrated by Sarah Greener too. Chapter 13. Case Studies. Everything you've heard is all well and good, but sometimes you need that extra bit of proof to understand it in depth, to relate, and to nod along and think, oh my God, that's me. This is why this next chapter is dedicated to my clients, either clients I'm still working with or those from the past. Theresa. The first client I'm going to chat about is Theresa. When she came to me, it was all about growth and sales. We quickly worked out that she just wasn't spending time on the right things, and she was a really reluctant planner. Theresa would say, I'm already really organized, so what could I do better with my time anyway? I don't want my life to be stuck into boxes and feel regimented. I like to be spontaneous. I need to be able to respond immediately to my clients. I just never have the time to do sales calls. This meant my first actionable task was to focus her into making deliberate, conscious decisions about the action she was taking in her business. How? By getting clear on what was most important to her in her life first. Theresa could then confidently build a vision for her business that she knew would align with the life she was creating. From here, we could create a business plan that was aligned to who she wanted to be and the things she valued most. Alignment between life and business creates flow. It allows Theresa to take action that felt easier because she wasn't constantly torn between creating the life she wanted and the business she wanted. By creating alignment, she could see how both could happen together. Now, she loves a plan. She feels fully in control of her business. She can outsource more jobs and tasks because she isn't busy doing all the time. She has time to stop and think. That creates clarity of what she wants and when she wants it. She continues to plan and will comment that the weeks she doesn't set control of her week in advance, it gets away on her. And the bonus? There is clarity around what she wants from her life. Becoming a new parent was a massive life change, and knowing how she wanted her parenting to look removed much of the overwhelm parents often feel around the new choices. And if you have children, you will remember just how many options you had and all the advice. When you know what you want, you can filter the options and advice more simply, like Theresa did. Recently, it popped up in her calendar that it was time to learn Te Reo Māori, so she could share the experience with her child as they grew. Theresa signed up to a local course and began the journey. Designing her life and business to work together rather than compete against each other gave Theresa alignment, success, and growth, with 2 new team members and some exciting sales goals ahead. Theresa she knows exactly where her life is going. She's always had an idea, a dream, but now she feels deliberate in how she approaches each day and the steps she takes each day to get her closer to that dream life she's designed. One of my favourite stories that Theresa shares is knowing how her highest life priorities have impacted her choices and understanding what they are has adjusted her weeks, so much so that she shares them with her loved ones, including her 75-year-old grandmother. Planning her weeks ahead is key to Theresa having alignment between her life and her business. Her stress levels have dropped away, and she now saves her brain power for the big decisions. If you asked her, she would tell you she's a repeat offender, having done the program 3 times. And still comes back to it now. Nikki. One of Nikki's biggest problems was her inability to take her business to the next level. She constantly felt stuck, and her go-to line was always, we're doing okay, leaving so much untapped potential. Her biggest obstacle was cost initially, taking the leap and making the investment. Once she did, though, she repeatedly tells herself how it has paid for itself financially more than once. More than that, if she just measured it in emotional value, the change has been exponential. Her best results came when lockdown hit. It was already business as usual for her due to the systems we'd put in place for her prior to the most recent global pandemic. Nikki stated that the emotional resilience it's given me enabled me to carry on and plan for bigger and better when so many others were trying to figure out how to even just keep working. The key is to be honest and prepared to dig into uncomfortable parts of your belief system, because it's only by doing that we can actually make lasting change. The tools to rewrite her stories and beliefs are the same ones I've shared with you in this book. Nikki continues to dig deeper into those repetitive thoughts she has and works to question them with, is that really true? And what if the complete opposite was true? Each time Nikki wants to level up her business and her life, She now knows it's not a tactic she needs, but a review of those internal beliefs. Nikki digs into the questions and works out which repetitive thought is out of alignment with her goals. That repetitive thought or belief is then reworked to align with her highest life priorities and the vision for each of those areas. Those strong, aligned, and new beliefs have stood her in a strong position to take action, even when the entire external environment is in upheaval. Nikki was able to connect quickly with clients who she knew would be most affected by the changes and offer support, creating raving fans who will support her and her business for a long time into the future. Each week, Nikki puts aside time to plan out the coming week, knowing that by taking control of her time, she ensures she's working towards her ideal life and business. With a bigger vision for what she can achieve in the next chapter of her life, Nikki now ensures she focuses on the right actions and does what the calendar tells her each week. It prevents her from getting stuck because less choices means less overwhelm. By taking control of her business and running it, Nikki has moved beyond her scarcity mindset of we're doing okay to one of abundance, providing abundance for her and her loved ones, her team, and her clients. Rebecca. Rebecca's biggest problem was planning, having too much to fit into her schedule, and in all honesty, procrastination, which is something we're all fantastic at, let's be honest. Rebecca got to a point that she would procrastinate so much over what she needed to do that everything became late, and over time, nothing was getting done. The stress built up, and she had this overwhelming pressure of being unable to please everybody. She knew that her time management was poor, but she hadn't gotten clear on what her main objectives were that she wanted to achieve. I knew straight away that Rebecca needed clarity and support implementing a process that worked for her, fit into her lifestyle, and catered to her everyday needs. But she also had to bite the bullet and just sit still for that little bit longer to get everything on paper. Rebecca instantly realized that the processes were working in her favor, and due to working with us, she was being held accountable to get shit done. Rebecca felt as if she was at a loss, struggling to be her own boss and believing that freedom only came if it was scheduled in and that her life had to have everything done on an hour-to-hour basis for her to grant the freedom to even go for a catch-up with friends. It dawned on her, with the implementation of processes, you can have spontaneity, even at the most unusual of times. The Power Hour got Rebecca into a flow state. She was able to plan ahead, make big decisions, and overall alleviate the stress. Rebecca stated, the key to the Power Hour is most definitely putting in the time and doing the work. For me, I did a 2-day course before I went into the Power Hour, working out what my highest life priorities were, how the Power Hour fit into my work life. But the most important was learning to get a handle on all of your highest life priorities and where they fit in. Where are you when you're hitting your goals? What do they look like? How do they feel? And you need to do the work. The statement by Rebecca of doing the work is probably one of the most important things. It's all well and good to sit, listen, take instructions, but if you don't apply it yourself, you're never going to get the results. You have to take action now, not in 12, 18, or 24 months' time. And as Rebecca states once again, and I couldn't have said it better myself, if you're not following through and taking action or doing the work, you're not committed to seeing it through. Bree. The biggest problem I faced before working with Sarah was feeling like an imposter. Sound familiar? We've all had those moments where we question everything, including ourselves, overwhelming our daily thought pattern with everything from what you should charge to what your business plan is to how to go about owning a business and being successful, all whilst being confident. Because confidence is key, right? Bree's biggest objections were feeling like, how could she spend money on business coaching when she didn't feel like she was really making enough money to invest back into the business? But it came to a point for Bree where she was so overwhelmed with everything that she knew she couldn't do it on her own anymore, and investing was key for growth. Money is a state of mind, and if you change your thought process around it, everything and anything is process. Bree finally jumped into coaching with me to invest the right energy into her business and create the future she wanted for both herself and her family. We created processes for her that enabled her to feel fully in control, like the boss she always knew she wanted to be, and felt capable of doing so much more than what she'd been putting out into the world. Her business began to take the steps forward towards success, ticking off those niggly things on her to-do list and preparing her for the future. Bree states that, I feel more prepared for the future now. I have a system in place for the success and growth of my business. And more than anything, the Power Hour has really put me in control of my business. Because without time, I can't do the things I need to do to make my business grow. If I don't have control over my schedule, I don't have control to create the space to do my social media strategy, my accounting, my business planning, my year goals. The Power Hour has completely changed my business, and I'm so glad I did it within the first couple of years of my business. This has now created a strong foundation that will propel my business forward with a clear path and direction. We can all have a clear path. Trust in the process and believe in yourself. Maybe this book was the first step for you to move towards the business and life you always dreamed of.
Hi, Sarah here. Just wanted to say, stoked that you are learning this knowledge to ensure that you get to blend your business and your life together in the way that you want. And learning stuff is good. Using stuff is better. If you want to start using the knowledge that you got today as quickly as possible, I want to give you a little bit of hands-on help. Head on down into the show notes. There's a link there for my calendar. You can get some one-on-one time with me so we can work on your business and your life and get it working just the way you want it now. I look forward to seeing you on that call and giving you the help to implement what you've heard here today into your business as simply as possible. Until then, stay Moxie.